Hey, you guys. Welcome to Corporate Caffeine. I'm Dacia. Welcome if this is the first time you're joining me. If not, welcome back. So you can probably tell by my background, I am not in the marketing blender offices or on the Corporate Caffeine podcast. I am in Peoria, Illinois. I have been up here for 2 speaking engagements. It's been really, really wonderful. And it's always fun to see what people's big takeaways are from any given speaking engagement. There's one in particular that I do pretty frequently. And it's interesting because people's key takeaway from a group perspective in an individual, it's not always predictable. And the one that really showed up really loud, especially from a talented marketer in the room, was about the fact that people are not actually buying your product or service. And they're not, you guys. I talk about this in my book, and I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's go to social media and let's talk about what do I mean by that. And this is really, really important because for most people, doesn't matter what type of industry you're in, but especially if you're in a complicated selling environment, wow, marketing feels hard. Sales feels hard. And I believe there's one core reason, and it's because your marketing should not be about you. People do not pay attention to things that are not interesting to them. And I don't care how awesome your product or service is, they are not interested in your product or service. So, literally, let me go ahead and give you an example of what I mean by that. So, in the book, I talk about the fact that a purchasing decision is actually a means to an end. It is not the end itself. And so here's what I mean when I'm saying that. I just messed up my screen. Sorry. So in the book, here's what I write. So as an example, people buy luxury cars because of how those acquisitions make them feel and or how they want to be perceived. So people's choice in car is a perfect reflection of how they actually view their identity, what they deserve or don't deserve, what they value or don't value, and how they want people to perceive them. Parents buy their children expensive sports equipment, not because of the sports equipment, but because they want their children to be successful in any way possible. And they are trying to embed themselves inside of that success journey. Contractors on the industrial side, they buy new equipment, not because the new equipment is just cool or because they want it, but because they believe it'll help them land bigger jobs or do more work or be more efficient. They don't actually care about the piece of equipment. Business owners buy software like enterprise resource planning or CRM because they want their teams to be more efficient, or they want more return on their investment, or they want to increase the value of their company, or they want to get answers out of their data. No one wants to buy software ever. No one cares about software. They care about how their life is and how their business is running and how their productivity is functioning. And if software happens to be the means to the end, fine. But they are buying the outcome. They are buying the improvement in their journey. They are not buying what you are selling. So if your marketing and if your sales team is talking about what you do and what you sell, yeah, of course it's going to be hard because people are not buying that. They're not. So what do people really want? What do people really want? So I just gave you a couple of examples of different common type of purchases, but let's talk about that. What do people really want? So in my book, I say that people in business, and I would actually even postulate this goes beyond business, but I'm in B2B and I'm at a business event. That's where I'm inspired by today. So people want to wield more influence. They want to grow sales. They want to grow profit. They want to be well known. We want to impress others. We want to have more freedom. We want to get rid of doubt and fear. We want to be confident. We want to be happy. We want to be liked. We want to be loved. We want to be recognized. We want to be in control. We want to take a break. We want a vacation. We want to drink. We want to feel capable. capable. We want to feel confident. All of these different things. All of these different things. We might want to play golf or read a book. We might want peace or power, influence or affluence, success, fulfillment. There are so many things. But you guys, the truth of the matter is, while there's a lot of these different things, they are fundamentally consistent to the human experience. There's not a million of them. There's a small handful of real things in our heart or in our desires or in our identity, and they drive every single decision that we make, every single one. You can even apply this to interpersonal communication and the kind of influence that you're trying to exert, and thinking about what do they want, what's really happening behind their point of view, behind their opinion, behind their grounding in. What does that person want? And what do you want? And then what is happening in the communication? What's the real battle? Because typically we're not talking about what we really want or what we're really scared of. We're talking about whatever practical thing is right in front of us, but it is only a representation of two conflicting or aligning agendas that are actually happening. What do people really want? That is how you get to the heart of influence and amazing excellence in marketing and outstanding salesmanship. Because when you get to the heart of what people really want, you guys, you're being a servant leader. You're meeting people where they are, and you are acknowledging our common human existence, and you are being a guide and a partner to people in that experience. That is profound. That is how you get more out of your communication strategies, whether they are personal or business. And I would argue that they are always personal, that there's not really separation there. But that's how you maximize your influence. That's how you maximize your marketing. That's how you grow, is that you serve other people in what they really, really want. So just wanted to give you a couple more examples from my book. And while I'm zooming to that page that I'm going to pull up for you, I want to challenge you guys to think about this. When you think about what are you competing against, who do you think your number one competitor is? Who is your number one competitor? Well, most of you will think of your direct competitor, right? A company that you have lost sales to, or, you might even think about reasons why people don't make decisions. You might get a little bit deeper, where people are distracted or something like that. And I would say you're getting warm if you're starting to go there, because your number one competitor is your customer. The person that you are trying to market to and sell to and influence, they are your number one competitor. And here's what I mean by that. Anytime you are trying to reach them and communicate to them, if you are not in person, and sometimes it includes if you're in person, they might be texting their teenage son, arguing with their wife, dealing with some financial numbers, preparing to fire somebody, trying to plan their vacation to Disney World, trying to plan something having to do with retirement, trying to untangle a really sticky or painful or emotional financial situation. You're competing with all of that. So anytime you are asking someone for something, especially in as simply as when you are asking them to pay attention to you, in asking them for some time investment, you're competing against everything in their life that is trying to get their attention and trying to get their time and trying to be prioritized in their life. Nowadays, in this hyper-connected world, you compete against everything. And so that means your number one competitor is your customer, because it's how they are filtering things out, how they are organizing their lives, how they are trying desperately to maintain control over what they give their time and attention and their distractions to. So it's very important that you embody a servant leadership point of view and that you go deeper, that they are not buying what you are selling. They are buying a means to their existing current goals, objections, or overcoming a challenge. They're buying something that is already important to them. And so you have to align with that. So, just a couple more examples that I wanted to share with you. People are buying, and what they want is they want validation. People want to think, I'm not alone, or I'm not the only one that can't figure this out, or I'm not the only one that's ever had this problem. People are buying confidence. People are buying anything to help make them feel not fearful. People are buying things in order to try to achieve the perception, or the potential of what they believe they should be, or what they believe they should have, or what they should believe they should be able to accomplish. So just make sure that you are absolutely careful about putting other people first. And I'm just going to go off on one tiny little tangent here. Um, and I should have put up a banner on this one, but I didn't think to. So that's okay. The one thing that I really, really wanted to share with you is that people are in love with what's already in their brain, because we're just locked inside of the cranium. And we can't help but be self centered. And I don't mean self centered as a vilification of humans, it means that we are centered in what we already think. We're trapped inside of this. So when you can come along someone and be a guide to them, be a partner to them, give them a gift of validation and give them a gift of space to think more critically or think bigger than they already do, it can be profoundly, profoundly impactful. And so I really just want you to think about the fact that when you are oriented towards others, it is so much more satisfying to be a partner to someone than somebody who's trying to convince them of something. So, my summary on this, and one little challenge that I would give is an example really of this, of the difference between influence and servant leadership versus convincing, because it's basically two ways to look at marketing and influence and sales and communication, right? Is the phrase customer centric. I hate this phrase. I hate it. Do you want to know why? What's the definition of a customer? It is someone who is paying you. So let me get this right. So the only time you're going to be centered around other people, the only time you're going to focus on the needs of other people, the only time that you're going to be really truly good to other people is after they pay you. Whew, that stinks. Whew, that doesn't smell good. My BS meter is going off the charts right now. You guys, you should be other centered, cradle to grave, because if you are, your ability to change the world, to transform lives, to change hearts, including yours, your ability to find joy and satisfaction and significance in your life right now, today, to decide to love your work instead of vilify your work, to decide to have impact in this world instead of just hating your job and feeling sorry for yourself. It can happen today if you decide to walk in that. Everything that you want can start today if you shift your point of view around how you go about getting what you want, because your potential is unleashed by your ability to transform the lives of others. Your potential is not about you. Your potential is about the change that you create, the success that you create, the relief that you create for other people. It's beautiful and it's true, and it is good for others, and it is a gift back to yourself. So that's what people really want. And that's what you want too. And it's a really beautiful opportunity to serve people and to decide that work is not a four-letter word and that you are worthy of joy and peace. And all you have to do is decide to be a leader in your own life and in your own circles, starting immediately, a servant leader. So I hope you were able to get something out of that. I really encourage you to sit down and think about how would you take action on these ideas? Because they're tiny little shifts, you guys. They're tiny little differences in how you write an email or how you open up a conversation or asking a slightly better, deeper question than, man, can't believe the weather out here. They're not massive changes. They're small, intentional changes that allow you to go to the deep end with yourself and with other people. So, what I would love for you to do, I would love for you to do a little homework, a little investment in yourself, and grab a pen and a paper because your brain works differently writing than it does typing. And just think about what would it look like if you were to decide today that you wanted to embody and test out a servant leadership approach in all of your communication, personal and professional. I would love to hear what you come up with. I would love to see your tips. All of you have untapped brilliance in you. And so share it. It's completely useless if it's locked in your head. Share what you are learning about yourself and help someone else move forward. Lift someone else as you yourself climb. I love you guys, and onward and upward.